For nearly 300 years, people have claimed a monster lives deep within the forests of southern New Jersey. Some call it folklore. Others swear they have seen it with their own eyes. In the summer of 1973, a group of friends believed they came face to face with whatever has haunted these woods for centuries. The night had been calm. Several friends had gathered beside their cars near the edge of the Pine Barrens, talking beneath the summer sky. Then, something enormous burst from the darkness. Witnesses described a massive black creature with glowing eyes sweeping low over their vehicles. Its wings were so powerful that food, drinks, and loose items were blown from the hoods of the cars as it passed overhead. For a brief moment, no one moved. No one spoke. Then panic took over. The group scrambled into their vehicles and fled, convinced they had just encountered one of America's oldest and most terrifying legends. More than 50 years later, every witness has continued to stand by the same story. What they saw, they believe, was the Jersey Devil. Deep within the forests of southern New Jersey lies nearly 1 million acres of dense woodland known as the Pine Barrens. At first glance, the forest appears peaceful. Miles of winding roads disappear beneath towering pines. Cedar swamps blanket the lowlands, and after sunset, an uneasy silence settles over the woods. Yet for generations, locals have warned visitors that something else lives here. Not a bear, not a mountain lion, but a creature unlike anything officially recognized by science. Some describe the head of a horse. Others speak of enormous bat-like wings. Many claim it walks upright on cloven hooves. Its scream has been compared to a woman in distress, a shrieking bird, even a crying child echoing through the trees. Whether these stories describe a real animal, a case of mistaken identity, or one of America's greatest legends has been debated for centuries. But one thing is certain: the name, the Jersey Devil, has endured for nearly 300 years. To understand why so many people still fear these woods, we have to return to where the legend supposedly began. Every legend has a beginning. For the Jersey Devil, that beginning leads to the small settlement of Leeds Point in the early 18th century. According to the most famous version of the story, the year was 1735. A woman remembered only as Mother Leeds was preparing to give birth to her 13th child. Already overwhelmed by raising a large family, legend says she cried out in frustration, "Let this one be a devil." Outside, a violent storm battered the countryside. Rain lashed against the windows. Thunder shook the house. As frightened neighbors gathered to help deliver the child, no one could have imagined what the night would become. At first, the baby appeared perfectly normal. Then, according to the legend, everything changed. Its tiny body twisted into an unnatural shape. Its hands became claws. Leathery wings tore from its back. Its feet split into cloven hooves. Its face stretched into something no longer human. The room erupted into chaos. The creature released an unearthly scream before leaping into the air. With several powerful beats of its wings, it disappeared up the chimney and vanished into the dark forests beyond. According to the legend, Mother Leeds never saw the creature again. Whether any of it actually happened is impossible to know. The story has changed countless times over the centuries. Some versions claim the child transformed after birth. Others insist Mother Leeds herself was a witch. Another says the child had been cursed long before it entered the world. But despite the changing details, one thing has remained remarkably consistent. People have continued reporting encounters with something strange in the Pine Barrens for nearly 3 centuries. One of the earliest and most unusual eyewitnesses wasn't a farmer, or a hunter, or a frightened traveler. It was royalty. Joseph Bonaparte, the older brother of Napoleon Bonaparte and the former King of Spain, eventually settled in New Jersey after fleeing Europe. He purchased a large estate near Bordentown, where he often spent his time hunting through the surrounding forests. One winter afternoon, while tracking game through freshly fallen snow, Bonaparte noticed something unusual: large hoof prints. At first, he assumed they belonged to a horse, but something wasn't right. The tracks didn't appear in groups of 4. Instead, they formed a perfectly spaced trail of only 2 footprints, as though whatever had made them walked upright. Curious, Bonaparte followed the mysterious trail deeper into the woods. Then, without warning, the tracks simply stopped. There were no signs the creature had turned around, no indication it had continued walking. It was as if it had simply vanished. As Bonaparte stood staring at the snow in confusion, he heard a strange hissing sound behind him. Slowly, he turned. Standing only a short distance away was a creature unlike anything he had ever seen. It possessed the head of a horse, powerful hind legs ending in hooves, short front limbs, large wings folded tightly against its body. The two stared at one another in complete silence. Then the creature let out another hiss, spread its enormous wings, and launched itself into the air before disappearing into the trees. Bonaparte later described the encounter to local residents. Their response surprised him. They already had a name for the creature: the Jersey Devil. Whether Bonaparte truly witnessed something unknown or simply misidentified an unusual animal, we'll never know. But his story became one of the earliest and most famous eyewitness accounts associated with the legend. And within a century, the entire state of New Jersey would find itself gripped by a wave of fear unlike anything before or since. By the beginning of the 20th century, the Jersey Devil had become little more than an old campfire story. Most people assumed the creature belonged to another era. The frightening tales passed down by parents and grandparents had become little more than local folklore. Few believed the devil still roamed the Pine Barrens. Then, everything changed. It began during the bitter cold of January 1909. Fresh snow covered southern New Jersey. On the morning of January 16th, residents awoke to something no one could explain. Strange hoofprints, not the tracks of a deer, not a horse, not anything recognized by local hunters. The prints crossed frozen fields, passed through fenced yards, appeared on rooftops, and in some places, simply stopped, as though whatever had made them had taken flight. At first, most people laughed. Someone was surely playing a prank. But before long, more reports began arriving, and then more. Entire neighborhoods discovered the same mysterious tracks. The reports weren't coming from one town, they were coming from everywhere. Woodbury, Bristol, Gloucester, Camden, Burlington, Trenton. Town after town began describing the exact same impossible footprints. Experienced hunters attempted to follow the trails. They couldn't. Tracking dogs were brought in. Some refused to follow the scent. Others simply turned around and retreated. Whatever had left those tracks, the dogs wanted nothing to do with it. Then, People stopped talking only about footprints. They began reporting the creature itself. Late one night, police officer James Sackville heard dogs barking uncontrollably. When he turned toward the commotion, he saw something standing in the darkness, a strange, winged creature, unlike anything he had ever encountered, as it let out what he described as a horrifying scream. He drew his revolver and fired. The creature spread its wings and vanished into the night. The reports only grew stranger. A postmaster claimed to watch a glowing winged creature fly across the Delaware River. Another witness described hearing cries unlike any animal he had ever known. Some compared the sound to a factory whistle, others to a crying baby, others still to a woman screaming somewhere deep within the forest. Then came one of the most famous encounters of the entire panic. Shortly after 2:30 in the morning, Nelson Evans and his wife were awakened by strange noises outside their home. Looking through the bedroom window, they found themselves staring directly at the creature. It stood upon the roof of a nearby building, not for a second, not for a quick glimpse, for nearly 10 minutes, long enough for both witnesses to carefully study every detail. Evans later described a creature standing roughly 3.5 feet tall. It possessed the head of a dog, the face of a horse, the wings of a bat, the legs of a crane, and cloven hooves. When Evans finally gathered enough courage to open the window and shout, the creature turned toward him, barked, spread its wings, and disappeared into the darkness. By now, fear was spreading faster than the creature itself. Search parties entered the woods. Police officers patrolled through the night. Professional hunters admitted they had never seen tracks resembling those left behind. One experienced tracker reportedly swore he would never again leave home without carrying his rifle. The sightings continued. A young girl fainted after discovering fresh hoof prints. A minister reported seeing the creature. Police officers claimed to have witnessed it. Residents found tracks crossing rooftops. Others found them ending at the tops of trees, as if the creature had simply flown away. Then came one of the strangest reports of the week. In West Collingswood, several men spotted what they believed was a giant bird sitting atop a house. Firefighters arrived and blasted the creature with a powerful stream of water. The animal tumbled from the roof. For a moment, everyone believed the mystery had finally ended. Instead, the creature rose to its feet, charged directly toward the crowd, then spread its wings and disappeared into the night. By this point, panic had gripped New Jersey. Parents refused to let their children attend school. Factories closed. Workers stayed home rather than travel through the woods. Streetcars began carrying armed guards. Some police departments reportedly received orders to shoot the creature on sight. Livestock began disappearing. Dead chickens, goats, and other farm animals were blamed on the mysterious visitor. Whether the devil was truly responsible or fear had begun influencing every unexplained event, no one could say. Then, just as suddenly as the panic had begun, it ended. The sightings stopped. The tracks disappeared. The screams faded back into the forests. Within days, the newspapers moved on. Life slowly returned to normal. No creature was ever captured. No body was ever found. No explanation satisfied everyone. Yet something remarkable had happened. For 1 week, thousands of ordinary people, police officers, hunters, business owners, teachers, farmers, and entire communities believed they were witnessing the same impossible creature. More than a century has passed since the panic of 1909. Historians still debate what really happened. Mass hysteria, escaped exotic animals, newspaper sensationalism, or something far more difficult to explain. Whatever the truth may be, the events of January 1909 ensured one thing: the Jersey Devil would never again be dismissed as just another forgotten legend. Because after the panic ended, the sightings never truly stopped. When the panic of 1909 finally came to an end, many believed the mystery had ended with it. Newspapers stopped reporting sightings. Life slowly returned to normal. The Jersey Devil faded once again into folklore, but it never completely disappeared. Over the decades that followed, reports continued to surface, sometimes years apart, sometimes only a single witness. Other times, entire groups of people claimed to have encountered something they couldn't explain. One of the most remarkable modern encounters occurred in 1961. Late one evening, two couples were driving through the Pine Barrens when something suddenly descended from above. It landed directly on the roof of their car. The terrified occupants described hearing heavy impacts against the metal as the creature shifted its weight. Convinced the roof was about to collapse, all four abandoned the vehicle and ran into the darkness. Only after hearing a shrill scream overhead did they dare return. Whatever had landed there was gone. But according to the witnesses, the roof of the car had been left badly dented. Whether the damage had truly been caused by some unknown creature or by something far more ordinary has never been determined. Yet the reports continued. Hunters spoke of screams unlike anything found in nature. Farmers blamed unexplained livestock deaths on the devil. Campers reported hearing strange cries echoing through the trees after sunset. The legend refused to die. Then came another encounter, one witnessed not by a single frightened individual, but by an entire group. During the summer of 1973, several couples had gathered beside their cars near the edge of the Pine Barrens. It was supposed to be an ordinary evening. Then, without warning, a massive black creature exploded from the darkness. Witnesses described enormous wings, glowing red eyes, and wing beats so powerful they scattered food, drinks, and loose objects from the hoods of their cars. No one waited to investigate. The entire group fled. Years later, each witness continued describing the same terrifying experience. Whether they truly encountered the Jersey Devil or something else entirely remains unknown. By the 1990s, the legend had already survived for more than 2.5 centuries. Then, one summer night, 4 college students decided to camp within the Pine Barrens. Sometime after midnight, they were awakened by something moving outside the tent. At first, they listened. Heavy footsteps circled through the darkness. Then came the screams, high-pitched, unnatural, unlike anything they had ever heard before. Peering outside beneath the light of the full moon, all 4 claimed to see the same thing: a creature standing upright on 2 animal-like legs, its body silhouetted against the trees, motionless, watching them. Then, the creature slowly spread its wings. With a powerful leap, it disappeared into the night sky. By morning, the group had packed their belongings and left the forest. Although they later shared what they experienced, they never filed an official report. They believed few people would ever take them seriously. Stories like these continue into the present day, Drivers have reported seeing strange winged creatures crossing lonely highways. Residents have discovered mysterious tracks in fresh snow. Campers still tell stories of screams echoing through the Pine Barrens after dark. Most photographs and videos offered as evidence have later been exposed as hoaxes, leaving behind only eyewitness testimony and questions. So, what is the Jersey Devil? Is it simply one of America's greatest legends? A story passed from generation to generation until folklore became mistaken for fact. Could frightened witnesses have misidentified cranes, owls, escaped exotic animals, or something else entirely? Or has something unknown been hiding within these forests for centuries, only revealing itself for the briefest of moments before disappearing once again into the pines? The truth may never be known, but perhaps that is exactly why the legend has survived for nearly 300 years. Because unlike most monsters, the Jersey Devil has never truly been defeated, never captured, never explained. It remains exactly what it has always been, a mystery. Deep within the Pine Barrens, the wind still moves through the trees, the forest still falls silent after dark, and every so often, someone returns from those woods convinced they were not alone. Maybe they were mistaken. Maybe fear filled in the blanks. Or maybe, just maybe, some legends endure because there is still something out there. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed these stories and would like to see more investigations into cryptids, folklore, and unexplained encounters, consider subscribing to the channel. And if you have experienced something you can't explain, we'd like to hear your story. Until next time, stay curious and stay out of the shadows.